It's late afternoon on a Thursday in September, and we're starting to lose our light a little bit, which is sad. But I am filming today because I have confirmation that tomorrow I will be tied up all day trying to get the stuff. We need new windows, so I'm going to be dealing with that. Not fun, but hey, it could be worse. We could not be getting new windows. At least it's going to be done before we have cold. Anyway, I made a fun card this week. I hope that you think so too. It's another compilation of several videos. And I wanted to make this because, where is it? Because I absolutely love this stamp set, Enduring Beauty. And this great big image is so pretty, and it comes with masks, which I did. I just set up the masks and colored it. And I just wanted something kind of different to do, so I went searching and I found this. So what do you think? It's called a Panoramic card. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to make one for you. I'm going to show you how to do it. I hope I have simplified this. The first video I watched, oh my god, I turned it off about halfway through. I thought I'm never going to be able to do that. And then I watched another one from a lady who made one, a German lady, and she made one. The card was really big, like 5 by 7 big. And we didn't really have envelopes to do that. So I thought I would make one out of a regular cardstock. So here we go. I'm going to turn the camera down and enjoy. Figure out how to do that. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. All right, so we're making this. Now, I went on ahead and stamped and stenciled my image, and I thought I would go with a slightly lighter. It's the same colors, believe it or not. I just did them a great deal lighter. So, you know, however much ink you want to lay down when you're using your stencils certainly decides the way it looks when you're done. I think the only difference is I did use Granny Apple Green on the darker here, and in here I just went in with another, no, that's Garden Green, and then I went in, is Granny Apple Green with Garden Green. And then what I did on this one is they're both just Granny Apple Green. I just went in and used the other mask to make the sections of it darker. So yeah, same colors though. That's Poppy Parade, this is Poppy Parade, with a base of Lemon Lolly underneath it. So anyway, just if you do have this set, like I said, I highly recommend it. It's so much fun to play with. I've got, if you like to do more than just do the stencils, I've been working on coloring some. Here's some I did. I took a lesson with Mitsutoshi Crafts, Jay Soriano, and learned how to do this, and that's the Copic markers. Well, not Copic, we call them Stampin' Blends. And then this is, I'm working on, this is a color pencil that I'm working on. I haven't decided if I'm going to put the watercolor in it or not. So, yeah, we'll see. I probably won't blend it. I like it just like this. So, anyway, there's a lot you can do with this stamp set. I just wanted to point that out. Let's put this aside. Now, these are all the pieces you're going to need. And this is, I try to explain this as simply as I can. And if you get lost, there's quite a few numbers here. If you get lost, you can always go onto my blog, and I've got everything laid out, all the numbers and photographs so you can see it. So we're going to set this aside by now. We're going to start with our card base. This is a basic half sheet of cardstock. It's 14.85 or 21 centimeters by 14.85. And I have scored it down the center at 10.5. If you are working with me in Imperial, it's going to be 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. So go ahead and fold this and set this down. Where's my bone folder? There. It's in the pile over here. All right, so I'm going to set that off to the side. Well, actually, no, I'm not. The next piece is that we're going to cut, and I would recommend cutting 2 of these because I like to, I call them card liners. I like to put white in my card or some light color to write on. But you're going to need 2 of the same size, and this is your basic, leaving roughly 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So if you're working with me in metric, it's going to be 10 centimeters this way by 14.4 that way, because our card is going to be oriented like this. So you guys are used to hearing me read the numbers off this way. So today we're reading them off this way. And if you're working with me on Imperial, oh, excuse me, it's going to be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. All right, now, what I have done, and I think it makes your life a lot easier. You do not have to do this next step, but I'm going to show you what I did anyway. You guys know I'm a big fan of the paper trimmer, and I do everything with it. It's my ruler. It's my go-to. It's my everything. All right, you didn't hear that. Oh, my God. It's been a really long day because, as I said, I'm working in the evening, so I'm not used to going this late. We're going to find the center of this cardstock. And as I said, it's 10 centimeters, so 5 1/2 is going to be the center this way. And if you are working on metric, it's, if you're working on Imperial, it's going to be, let me make sure, I don't want to give you the wrong numbers. If I set it vertically. Did I get them right? It's 4 1/4, so it should be 4 and I got 2 inches. It's actually 2 1/8 inches. I'm gonna have to fix that. So anyway, you want to find the center, and I like using a mechanical pencil because I can stick the lead way out. And you're going to make yourself a nice faint line going down this way. And then we're going to find the center this way. And if you're working in centimeters, it's 7.2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, for this, we don't need a center mark. We just need a little small mark top and bottom. So there's a little one there, and there's a little one there. Boop. And if you're working with me in Imperial, it is 2 5/8 is your center. Okay? Now, I go ahead and I glue this down. It's a little bit different than the way we do it, and I'll explain why I'm doing, as I'm doing it, I'll explain why. Normally, I like to cut everything and then sort of do a big assembly. In this case, we're going to be assembling it a little backwards. So go ahead, set this up, leaving your 3 centimeters or 1/4 inch all the way around. Make it nice and neat and push that down there. All right, this piece aside, just for a minute. Now we're going to make the backings or the layers or the mats, whatever you want to call it. These are the pieces that are going to go behind our image that make it really pop out. You're going to start with a rectangle. Now, these numbers are going to be wildly different because you cannot translate it direct between Imperial and metric because the metric cards are wider this way. Normally when we're working this way, it would be taller. And it doesn't make as much difference. But since we're working sideways, don't try to catch one set of numbers and say, I'll just translate them, because it doesn't work that way. Because I actually they're actually a little bit bigger working in the metric. All right, anyway, we're going to be cutting strips. Now this piece is 3 centimeters, 1/4 inch shorter, top and bottom, from what our base piece is. But as you can see, it's quite a bit shorter. All right, just having said that, I'm just trying to help you get your brain wrapped around what we're going to be doing here. We're going to cut this into strips. And this, you're going to start off, where is my number to start off? You are going to start off with a rectangle, 13 centimeters by 9.5, or 5 inches by 4 inches. Right, clear, that's easy. Now, you're going to take your paper cutter. I'm going to call these A, B, and C. And when I lay them out, you'll understand why. But you're going to cut your A pieces first. And the A pieces are going to be, let me roll this down here. Oh, actually, I do find the center on this one as well, because that's going to help us again. So, you know, the center of 4 inches is 2, and the center at 13 is 6.5. So let me go ahead and mark that. And you don't have to do a line all the way across. We're just going to have a little bitty line here and here, like that. Okay? All right, now, back to cutting. Oops, keep my smart here. Now, I hope I have this so you can see it. I did a couple of test runs with the camera, so I think you should be able to see this. Although it's hilarious because I'm sitting way away from the desk. So excuse me for leaning over and making moaning noises. All right, the first strip we're going to set, the inside is C. Then next to that will be a pair of B's and then a pair of A's on the outside. And the A's are the smallest. So we're going to find, we already have the height for this part. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 strips at 2 centimeters wide. And if you're following along on Imperial, that's 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to start on this end. We're going to cut, and I'm using this side of the trimmer because it's just easier when you're doing smaller bits. So you're going to go 2 inches, or 2 centimeters, and we're going to mark, and we're going to set that aside, put it over here. Now the next one along is a B piece, and a B piece is going to be 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch. Get that lined up there. Like I said, I'm sitting way away from my trimmer. All right, our centerpiece is coming in at, sorry, I'm reading off my notes because I don't want to get this wrong. I don't want to try to do it from my memory. It's going to be 4.2 centimeters or 1 1/4 inch. So 4.2 is 1, 2, like that. Actually, no, I can't see it. It's too far away. 0.2. Did I not get that right? I don't think that's right. Oh no, if I've got my numbers wrong, 4.2 centimeters or 1 1/4 inch. So 1 1/4 inch is correct. I want to do it from this side, because you got plenty of room to do 1 1/4 here, as you can see. So, but if you're going to do Imperial, you'll need to pop this puppy up this way. No, this way, because you see my marks? That's the way I know it's the centerpiece. 4.12. There we go. And I'm going to cut that off. Now, the next piece that we would cut. Now, in this case, I'm not going to be switching it around because we're not working with the pattern. If I were working with a pattern, I would turn it around and I would put it back in there, and then I would continue to cut. So the next piece that we cut is a B piece, and your B piece is 2.5 centimeters. Oops, come on. This is the only problem when you're working short like this, because if you're like me and you have really dry hands, one of 2 things happen. The paper sticks to it because your hands are so dry, or the paper sticks to it because you've used hand cream and it's too wet. You can't win, no matter what you do. So make that cut there, and that is a B piece. And then our last piece should be the same, which is 1.5 centimeters going on there. Now, occasionally, and excellent. So I've come up a tiny bit over. This happens sometimes. There is plenty of room. I made quite a few of these, and sometimes your cutting just gets off a little bit. And especially when you're working really tight with the centimeters, I had a little bit more problem. When I did my sample, that was a, I'm trying to make this stay without sticking to my fingers. When I did my sample, let's see if I can hold it like that. There we go. using, oh, see, I cut a lot off that one. I think I just screwed that up, guys. Oh, I may need to get another piece out. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I couldn't hold it still. It usually only have a tiny error here. So let me grab another piece of cardstock and cut it. I was, hoping to be nice and neat and get it out of one bit of cardstock here. That always just makes your life easier. There we go. There's a piece. So let me go back to my original triangle. Because it's hard switching between the two. If I just sit here and work in metric, I'm fine. If I just sit here and work in imperial, I'm fine. When I try to switch back and forth, I start stuttering and mumbling and going, I'm going to cut this first because that's a raggedy edge there. 9.5. Creative edit, yeah, 9.5. There we go. Let's cut that off. Save that for fun later. 13 centimeters. Now, I'll read this off to you in case you too have messed up. It's 5 inches by 4 inches. All right, let's try that again. So you push through the first layer that you put through is 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch. So it'll be about right there. So it's going to be, like I said, a little bit shorter. Let's do this the right way. 2 centimeters. The next one is 2.5 centimeters. So actually, I do have this in my head, which is going to be 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch, I believe. Don't listen to me. 2. Yes, that is 1 inch. Then the next piece is 4 and 4.2. See, these should be the same size. Yeah, see, the point I messed up was right at the end. And then we're going to put this in here for 1.5 centimeters. And like I said, that's way up there, hard to see. And I still didn't do it right. It's not 1.5. Oh, yes, it is. And it is wider than that piece, so we're good. All right, cool. Now, you guys got those measurements. So your A pieces are the 2 outside pieces. I can move this for the moment. Your 2 outside pieces. There we go, like that. And that's how they're going to be set up. So your A's are on the outside, and then your B's. Did I pick up the wrong piece? That's the weird scrunchy one. This is the right one. Yes, that's the right one. I picked up the wrong piece. Lori. Okay, let's get all these crap pieces out of the way. Stop it. Just confuse myself. All right, so then they look like this. Yes, I know we're not done. So these are, they're going to go like that. Oh, I should have marked the center on this. See? Probably should just start over again. All right, so we're going to cut the tops and bottoms now. Let's bring this back in. We're not going to cut the center piece. We're not going to cut C. We're going to cut, the next pieces we're going to cut are the B's. And the B's are just a scant, let me scooch down in my directions here. We are going to cut 1/4 of an inch off each end if you're working with me on imperial. It's 5 centimeters if you're working with me on metric. So I'm going to put that in there, 5 centimeters. I know it's just a tiny bit, but that tiny bit makes a big difference. So we're going to cut that off of each end. Why not cut it off of one end, I hear you cry? It's like, well, if you get used to doing it this way, then you won't make a mistake, because this is the way you have to cut your patterned paper or your image. So if you just get used to doing it this way, it'll help you figure out what we're doing. Because the way we're going to cut our triangle, you're still going to do this 5 millimeters or 1/4 of an inch. You'll still do that off the same end. It's just we'll cut our triangle smaller to begin with. Oh gosh, I hope I didn't confuse everybody with that. All right, and now we're going to cut our A pieces. The A pieces are going to be cut at a full centimeter, which is 1/2 inch. So you put them in there. We're going to do one side. Whoops, don't put your fingers in there. 1 centimeter. Turn it over. And here is 1 centimeter. Put that there. I'm going to do this at 1 centimeter or 1/2 inch, remember? Like this. And flip it over like that. All right. Now, this is where we're going to depart from the way I normally do things, and probably you do too. Normally, when you have something backed with a mat, you glue your pattern paper or your image onto your mat, and then you'll put it onto your card. But I found it was massively easier if you do this step first, because this looks pretty good, but it doesn't hold up well if you really look at the gaps in between them. It was confusing to be lining up the pictures and lining up the matting and oh yeah, trust me, it looks much nicer this way. My really ugly one that I did out of green and blue card turned out beautiful and even, so. All right, let's use some glue on this. And this is why we have our mark, we did our marks on here. Yeah, I want a little more glue than that. Glue is not expensive. There we go, shake it down. This one's coming to its end. Now, you've got your little marks up here, and do your little mark to your little mark, and equidistance, top and bottom. And there you go. Hold it down there a second. Also, doing it this way, it's a lot easier to get rid of your marks. Oops, there we go. All right, now the next two pieces, they're going to go in here like this. And if you mark it the center-wise, which probably I should have done, so I did that in my original as well, and that's the way it is on the directions, then you will find this goes super fast. Because I did mark the center piece, it's going to take me slightly longer to line it up, but it shouldn't be an issue. Now you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch between that, about 1.5 millimeters maybe. Trying to make sure you got top and bottom on there. There we go. So now we got a nice line. Let's glue this one down. All right. I love glue for this because it's slippy. Now, and this is where if I had drawn my center line in, it helps, because you'll be able to line it up toward the center and not have to worry about looking at things lopsided. Has anybody ever done that? You've lined up a couple of things on the card, and then when you go back and looked at it sometime later, everything was evenly going in one direction. Oh, still do that after doing this for years. Still do that. All right, here comes the next piece. And it's even shorter, and we want the same amount of space in there. And the same amount top and bottom. And it's cool if you got extra over here. It really kind of doesn't matter. If it goes all the way to the end, if you got a little extra space, you have to have some play in here, because when you're cutting these things, you know, you think you're getting right on that cutting line every single time, but you know, your eyes aren't perfect, and things get off, and they get off by like 1/2 millimeter. But going across the page, it makes a difference. You sort of start to really gain. So now I'm going to get rid of my marks. You can see that one just a tiny bit. Not much though. I missed the sharp edge of my eraser. All right, that looks pretty clean. Let's get rid of all these. Okay, we're almost done, folks. How's that? It's a lot easier than it sounds or looks. And I'm telling you, when I was watching this, the first one I saw, and I'm not going to say who did the pattern on it, but it was a big card. It was like that big. It was huge. And they did it. Yeah, I know, it was 5 by 7, so it was that lengthwise, but imagine it about that much longer. It was, like I said, big card. And they did 4. They had 4 on, was it 3 or 4? 3 on each side, and it was pretty. It was gorgeous. But that's not practical for those of us who make a lot of cards, because number one, you have to make a custom envelope, and I don't own one of those nifty envelope boards, which I keep saying I'm going to get one. They're pretty cool, but I keep mentioning to Stampin' Up! Every time they say any suggestions, and I'm like, oh, envelope board. So we'll see. Regardless, this is for a regular A4 card, so I figured it was better. All right, image. If you are using an image like I do, or I have a piece of paper here that's one of my nifty bits out. Do you have a? Well, you can use this as an example. It wouldn't actually work for this because it's too narrow. But pretend that all of the paper is here. You want to find the center of your image that you want to use. And this particular rectangle, and if you narrow it down to the rectangle, it makes it much easier to do. Or you can do like me and sort of start guessing. Let's see. For the last layer, come on, moving on down. This is 9 centimeters by 11.4, or 3 7/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, and again, this is quarter. So I guess by this time, we're a whole centimeter from the top to the bottom. But we've gone on ahead and cut the height of the center one correct. Does that make sense for everybody? So if you put it up there, but it's narrower, so we've got space to break it up. And we're going to do exactly the same thing we did here, and hopefully not mess it up because I don't have another one of these. But if you are having your image, you can see I've actually had to cut off the leaves here, because literally what I did is it's 11.5 centimeters, and I held it head down here and found where I wanted it to sit, and then I just made little marks on my paper, and then I went this way at 9 centimeters and, you know, held my finger on it and said, okay, where is it? So in this one, if I wanted that to be my center, I would, so go, okay, there, and then 9 centimeters, and I would just take and make, you know, a little mark here and a little mark there. And that way you can cut your triangle and get an idea of what you're doing. Makes it a little bit easier working from the triangle like this. You can be brave and just start whacking it into pieces. One of the videos I saw, they did that. But to be fair, it was an all-over pattern that was, you know, big and bright and really busy. And you could do that. You could just cut the strips to length, and then, you know the length of these strips, and just cut them that way. And that was really simple way to do it. But when you're working with a picture, which I think is the best effect for the panorama, then you have to kind of struggle through this way. So we're going to do the same thing. Now, we're going to repeat that. We're going to start with our rectangle at 9 centimeters by 11.4, or 3 and 7. Did it again? Yeah, 3 and 7/8 going down this way, and 4 and 1/8 across this way. So we're going to go through, and we're going to cut our first piece, which is going to be our A. And on this side, these are going to be a little narrower to fit on our layer pieces here. So the first one is going to be 1.7 centimeters by, or 1.7 centimeters is the width of it. 5/8 of an inch is what you're going to be looking at if you're going with imperial. So 1.7, because the first one we did was 2, if you'll recall. So 1.567. Pop that down, hold your breath, and slice. And this should fit in here. Yes, that is going to fit lovely. Now my next piece, you'll remember on the black it was 2.5, but this one's going to be cut a little bit narrower. So this one is going to be 2.2 centimeters, or 7/8 of an inch. So we got 2.12. All right, there's our second piece cut, and that will fit over there. Piece number 3 is going to be, this is our C piece, and it's going to be 3.7 centimeters, or 1 1/8. So 3.7 gets us right to the end there. Make sure it's lined up. 3.567. There we go. And slice through. And yes, that fits. And then we're going to go back, do another B piece, which, if you recall, was 2.2 centimeters, or 7/8. 2.12. Come on, don't move on me. All right, and this should be your last bit. This should come out to measure at 1.7, which looks a little bit wide, because this should be 1.7. Let me check. That looks good. I want to check this one. That's a hair wide. So I'm going to cut a hair off of it. There we go. Now, don't screw it like you did last time. It moved. It moved. It moved. Frazzle rock. Okay. Yep. Just glue the thing in there. I can't do that. I want to. Let's use this to hold it down. If we push from this direction. No, it's not going to do it. Oh, I've got to get the scissors out. I'm terrible at this. But when you're working with small pieces, you know, this is fair warning. This is sometimes what you have to deal with. It might actually be a bit easier to cut if you had a guillotine style trimmer. Which don't. I did have. I had to leave it in the States when I moved because it was big. I had a big one for cutting 12 by 12 papers because I didn't used to make cards so much as I made scrapbooks. All right, and now we glue this down. I'm going to use this because I don't like tape shadows. So let's glue C to C. Now, I like the scissors because I have fat fingers. Do you want it that way or do you want it? Yeah, you want it that way. And try to get an equal amount of black, so as you can see, an equal amount of black showing all the way around. And give that a push. And let's do this piece next. Oh, we didn't cut the length. We got to cut the length on these. Got all excited about getting this done. Doofus. All right, on our B pieces, remember what we did last time. We're going to do exactly the same thing again. I will slide this over here, and we're going to take the same amount as the top as we did on the bottom, and you were going to take 1/4 of an inch or a scant 5 millimeters. You want that off each side of your B pieces. So there's top, boop, and here's, come on, bottom. Knock that off. B piece. Uh-oh, which side does that go on? I think it goes on this side. Wait a minute, I think I might have, no, I got it, there he goes. Just being a little slow here. Okay, scant 5 centimeters. Off top and off bottom. Okay, that's our B pieces done. Now we need to do our A pieces, and if you remember, it's twice as much. So we have 1 centimeter, 1 full centimeter, or 3/4 of an inch. Is it 3/4 of an inch? Wait a minute, don't. It's 1 centimeter or 1/2 an inch. Like I said, I struggle switching back and forth, guys. I really apologize, but I know, I think the people that watch me, we're split about 50-50 as to how many people use metric and how many people use, is this right? No, I think this piece goes here. It'll take me a second to line them back up. So we want 1 centimeter or 1/2 an inch off each end. Now, one of the ladies that I watched, because I watched a bunch of different videos, and I think it's the one that I actually want to talk about. Her name is France Martin. Most of the imperial measurements come from here. Her video was the easiest one to understand. She didn't make a big deal about it. She just went to chopping up, and it gave me a lot of confidence to try it. And I hope I've given you guys confidence to try this. All right. Which piece goes in here next? You go there. I think that goes here. Yep, that goes like that. And you go like that. And you go like that. Okay, good. Now we can glue them down. We've shortened them. Anyway, her video is really cute. And she does the coolest thing, and I'm not going to tell you what it is she does with the greeting. She puts a greeting on front of hers, and it is really cool. And you will be seeing me do this because I've never seen a greeting done like this, and I absolutely loved it. So go and watch her video. I will link it in the description. Because, you know, we're all in this together, folks. So even if you don't want to watch the whole video, go in, open it up, and give her a thumbs up. We all work hard doing this, and some days it feels like, well, some days you wonder why you keep on. But most days you know, so. All right, now see, that's a little bit wide, but, you know, we've got some play in here. As long as these lines are correct, you don't see the difference in the picture because your eye automatically pulls the picture where it needs to go. Come on. See, I'm getting down to the end on this. And use my tweezers. My fat fingers don't get in the way. But Ms. Martin does. She used a piece of designer series paper that she stamped on. And I thought, oh, that's brilliant. I really liked that. I'm the only one that did a stamped image that I could find. But, you know, a few years ago, these are massively popular. I like going in there and finding really cool ones that haven't been done in a while and bringing them back, so to speak. That's my thing. I love doing that. Because let's face it, so many ideas out there. And I find whenever I think I've come up with an idea, if I go out there and start searching it, I wasn't the first one. Now, who's to say you don't do it better? But that's why we case, ladies and gents, because everything new, everything old is new again. And your spin on it, like I said, I didn't see anybody that actually did a stamped image. So, you know, this is my take on something different. So what do you think? Now, you can bling this up. These are going to be note card. Isn't that wild, the difference? Same color ink, just lots more of it on this one. So, easy. I didn't put, oh, let's go this way. I don't think it matters, really. Yeah, well, I did them the same. Yeah, you might want to watch that while you're putting yours together. Because I think I put this together with mine upside down. So, yeah, you might want to have a care about that. I did that last week, didn't I? With the shutter card. I put the shutter thing in there wrong. Anyway, yeah, I think I've got the summer, not ready for summer to end blues. I think everybody might have a touch of that. Anyway, this is what we have. You can put bling on here. You can put greeting labels. But I'm going to leave them as is because they're going to be note cards. So I thought, didn't really want to have any special occasion. I wanted them to be plain. So, if you're watching me on Facebook, I always appreciate a heart because my heart is with your heart. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, which actually it's a replay on Facebook as well, but if you're watching on YouTube, that thumbs up makes a big difference in our algorithms. And subscribe if you want to see more. See more, do you think I could give away, call them retro cards? They're only a couple of years old. Actually, I think France Martin's card was like 4 years old, so it was a lot older. But some of the really big cards were only like 2 years ago. So anyway, thank you so much for sitting down with me today and having a watch. I hope you enjoyed this. We didn't have too many klutzy moments, just one. But as you could see, you know, it was easy to fix. So I always try to show you how to fix it if I can, because we all make these mistakes. And something like this, it may turn out perfect the first time. The first one I did not turn out perfect. In fact, the third one didn't turn out perfect. And I learned my lesson about, you know, making these more even. So anyway, have a good time. Have a play. And have a great day. And I hope your weekend is truly magnificent. See you guys later.